My hair is purple. Let's leave it at that. The amount of comments I have gotten about my hair colour in the last 2 days has been unbelievable. It just doesn't stop. But yeah, my hair is purple. There we go. Hey there, it's Lýkos and welcome back to my channel. So this week's video I have decided to make a piercing related video because I've been asked quite often to do a most annoying things I get told with piercings and tattoos. I only have the one tattoo at the moment. I am getting more really soon, but I get asked what are some annoying things that get told to me with having these things. If you didn't know, I currently have 11 piercings. Yeah, that's a lot. And I live in an area where you don't see many people with this many piercings. You see someone with like maybe 2 or 3. And here I am with 11. So yeah, I get told quite a few things that get on my nerves and would get on anyone's nerves with piercings. I'm gonna start with the really obvious one, and that is the good old, you looked better without your piercings. Never say this to someone with piercings. You will get a really sarcastic answer or told to fuck off. There is no in between. People who have piercings didn't get pierced to get your approval. They did it for themselves, and they don't care what you think of them before the piercings or after them. If someone wants piercings, they're gonna get them unless they're in a situation where they can't get any. So you telling them that you think they look better beforehand isn't gonna change their mind about having them. If someone's paid a lot of money to get pierced, they're not gonna take it out just because you think they looked better before. It's just not gonna happen. Following on that one comes the good old, I don't like your piercings. I don't care. I get told this all the time by people who aren't fond of piercings. You may not like piercings, and that's fine. You don't have to get piercings. But you don't need to tell me that you don't like mine because you don't like piercings yourself. This is not your face, this is my face. I pierced it. I chose to pierce it. I paid to pierce it. And I don't care if you don't like them. Like, I'm not gonna take them out just because someone said they don't like them. I have spent over $400 on piercings. They're not coming out just because someone says they don't like how they look. It's not happening. With me going away in about 2 weeks, I get told quite a lot, have fun at airport security. Or the good old, I bet airport security loves you. I haven't been on a plane since like 2015, back when I only had my ears pierced and they weren't stretched or anything. And before that, the last time I was on a plane was 2007. I don't know how much traveling people expect me to do, to the point where this is going to become a problem. But it's not going to be that much. Like, they will, obviously they might set off, depending on what jewelry I have in them at the time, they might set off the metal detectors. They might not. It depends on what jewelry I have in them. Simple as that. And I can easily change it to a jewelry that won't set them off, or I can leave it as it is. If it sets them off, it's fucking obvious what it was. They'll just have to scan from the shoulders down and see if there was anything else. It's very obvious that my face has metal in it. They're not gonna set off the metal detectors and then freak out because they don't know what the metal was. It's obvious in my face that the main gate one will be set off by my face, and once they do the rest of my body, they will realize that it is just my face. It's not that difficult. People with knee replacements, people with implants in their legs like metal rods, people with certain contraceptions, all this sort of stuff, have metal in their bodies, and they set off the alarms, and it's fine. They just ask, and they scan them again. And then it's problem solved. They're allowed to move on. Piercings aren't any different. If they set them off, depending on what jewelry you have, they will follow the same code of conduct as they do with someone with a knee replacement. They will ask, and then they will scan you with a handheld one to see if there's any other metal on your body. And if there isn't, you're fine. With having surface piercings, I get quite a lot of people Googling, like, the aftermath of surface piercings, and then sending me messages going, oh, it's gonna look so ugly when it scars and because it's rejected. First of all, I know how to spot a rejection in a piercing, and when my piercings start to reject to a point where they're gonna leave a very obvious scar, you take them out. You don't leave them in to push themselves right out to the point where they just fall out your face. You take them out at a certain point, and it won't leave that bad of a scar. So I don't see why people need to leave comments about how my bridge piercing is gonna look gross in like 4 years time because it's rejected and there'll be a scar. No, I'm gonna take it out when it starts rejecting because I'm gonna get it re-pierced. I'm not gonna have this massive scar through my thing. I'll have holes in my face, like scar tissue. There'll be a scar here and a scar here, a scar through my septum, one on each side where this is, and one on each side where this is. I'll have a scar through my tongue. That's just how it works, but they're barely noticeable to the point where you'd have to look really close at my face to notice there was holes in my face when they've healed, when they've closed over. So I'm not gonna let my piercings reject to the point where it's gonna look ugly. So I don't see why people need to keep reminding me what rejected piercings look like. I think I'd know. I think I would have done my research before getting a surface piercing. And if you don't do your research before getting a surface piercing, I'm sorry, but you're a fucking idiot. But yeah, another great line I get is, good luck getting a job with those. You know, I can take them out, right? They come out of my face. They're not permanently in there. I can remove them. The 3 I don't particularly like removing, you can't see. I can flip my septum up, and my tongue piercing you can't see, and my smiley piercing you can't see. So I can take all the other ones out and it'd be fine and they won't heal over as quickly as the other ones. I just don't want to take my septum piercing out because I find it to be a bitch to be putting back in. My tongue piercing would heal up too fast, and my smiley piercing's fairly new, so I just wouldn't take them out and it would be fine. You wouldn't notice them. It's as simple as that. So yeah, that's a great one. Ever since I got my first tattoo, I have gotten the comment of, you know tattoos are permanent, right? Oh honey. No, I had no idea. I put this on my arm thinking it would come off in a week. The thing about my tattoo is it's something that means a huge amount to me, and it will always mean a lot to me, and I'm never gonna regret this one. I've seen tattoos go wrong firsthand. I've had family members have tattoos lasered off. One of them had surgically removed tattoo. I've got friends who've had tattoos lasered off, friends who've had tattoos covered up. All of these things. I know that tattoos aren't always going to be what you want in the end in like 10, 20 years time. But my first one that I got before I turned 18, I'm never going to regret. And yeah, if I get any more, then that's on me. You don't have to remind me that tattoos are permanent. I know. They remind you that at the tattoo parlor because they sort of have to make sure it's what you want. But I don't need some stranger coming up to me going, you know that's permanent, right? Like, you can't get that off. Nah, it's gonna come off in a week, mate. It's fake. Man, it makes me laugh when people say that to me, like I don't know that something I put on my body is permanent. Another thing I get a lot, anyone who wants more extreme body modifications, like pointing your ears, splitting your tongue, having punches through your ears, even things like cheek piercings that will leave a permanent scar and like a permanent dimple in the side of your face, all those sort of things. You get quite a lot of people commenting on, are you sure you want that? Because that's permanent. If I'm gonna get something like that, and anyone who gets something like that, they generally put like a good at least 6 months thought into it, and a lot of people give it a few years thought. I personally would never do something permanent to my body without giving it enough thought. So if I'm gonna get a permanent body modification, I'm gonna know it's something I want and won't regret, so there's no need. It's just things that you don't need to remind us as people with body modifications, because we already know. One of the last things I want to bring up is the good old classic, what does your boyfriend think of this? What does your girlfriend think of this? What does your parents think of this? What does your family think of this? First of all, I'm never gonna have a girlfriend, so that one's cancelled out. And the only person I've ever dated has piercings. My mum has her nose pierced and her ear pierced. My sister has her nose pierced. A lot of my family have their ears pierced. Some of my family want more piercings but don't have them. One of my family members on my mum's side has piercings. And it's a simple statement of, I don't give a fuck. I paid for this. The only piercings I've had that were before the age of 16 were my snake bites, and that was the first time around. These are pierced. These ones I've got now a re-piercing one. And I got my first set when I was 15, and then I got these re-pierced when I was 16. And in New Zealand you can sign for your own piercings at 16. So I signed for all of these. I paid for about 90% of them. Of my body modifications, I've paid for 90% of the overall cost. So I did this to me because I wanted to. I didn't need to get permission from anyone. I needed to get permission for this because I'm not quite 18. But I didn't need to get permission for any of these because I got them after I was 16. I signed for them, and I don't give a fuck what people think about them. It just gets really annoying really fast when you hear the same shit every day. But yeah, my family don't care about my piercings. There might be a few family members who have an issue with it or don't particularly like them, but it's my body, and I don't give a fuck. I'm gonna keep doing it. I'm gonna keep getting tattoos. I don't really care. I can take them out for work. I can put them back in. And I am completely happy with my appearance and having piercings, and I'm going to continue to get piercings because it's something I want, and I enjoy doing. So yeah, I don't give a fuck what family or friends think about me, and if I'm with someone who isn't fond of piercings, I might as well not be with them, because it's sort of part of who I am. So that being said, it's never been an issue because the only guy I've ever dated also had piercings, so that was fine. But yeah, I'm gonna leave this video here. It's gonna be really like dragged on. This is something I've been asked to do. What my opinion was the most annoying thing is I get told with piercings and tattoos. And yeah, that's my list. So if you like this video, make sure to leave a like. If you want to see more content like this, I have a piercing video talking about each one of my piercings before I got my smiley pierced, so I might have to do an update video on piercings I get in the next 4 months on them. If you like hearing me talk and seeing my face, then hit subscribe and go check out my other videos. Simple as that. Yeah, I will leave you guys to enjoy the rest of your Friday now, and I will see you guys next week. Stay you, stay awesome, never be afraid to be yourself, and don't forget to smile.